Hey everybody. In some of my videos I may refer to when I was a child and kind of where some of my desires to build and create kind of came from. And I just happened to be out there today. So I wanted to give you guys just a short little preview of some of my property that my father owns. This is out in Natchez, Mississippi, a very historic place. On this particular 80 acres that he owns, my little brother and I found a sword that dates back to the Civil War that was actually embedded in the side of one of these cliffs, hills here in Mississippi. So I just wanted to give you a preview of the property and of the house that we got back when I was a young child. My mother and father purchased an antebellum home that was in kind of in ill repair, but at the same time it had pine heart framing and things, so it was still a sturdy place. And so we actually took it, and over the next 5 or 7 years something, we built on it with the plans of moving our big family out here. But a mill shut down and my father had to move to North Louisiana, and it's sad, unfortunately, since that point. But I just wanted to give you a preview. This is 80 acres. This is the drive coming in here, and a lot of it's grown up over the years. And in the back here you can see the front of the house, and as you can tell, it is a lot of stuff's grown up in front of it, but it is such a beauty, and it is one of my father's most valued possessions. But we're about 2 hours away from it from where we live now, and unfortunately we can't get out here to work on it the amount that we want to. But the property has 3 ponds on it that we did a lot of fishing in. It's got a big pastures that we did a lot of bush hogging and planted and had crops, had a few cattle. But most of all, we spent most of our time here working in the house and trying to restore this old home on this plantation here to try to get it back into an order where we could live. But without further ado, I'll walk inside and show you around. So I'm going to be walking some here, so sorry for the stability issues, but here are the brick steps that we had made that come onto the porch. And as you can tell, it's grown up. My father and mother spent a lot of time at auctions, and we would pick up things like these doors, this set of French doors that are here on the front. A lot of this we tore down older homes and salvaged a lot of material. So here you have half-inch beadboard material, pine floors for the wraparound porch that's on it. As you can tell, it's not quite finished, but we were getting really close, and it's been infested with bees and wasps and no telling the critters that are in there. But you have to look really close. But these are all rough sawn timber that made up all of the framing for under the porch and the entire house. Some of this was original to the house, and some of it was salvaged out of other period homes at the time. So stepping inside here, we'll let the camera adjust a little bit. There we go. As you can tell, it's just a long dog trot. Goes all the way to the back. This way, airflow could be maximized before this house knew anything about air conditioning. All the doors that we kept had the original windows at the top that were meant for ventilation. They had the weights and the window in the walls here that you could pull the weight, and the window at the top would open. This is what we call the library room, and it's slammed full of storage and things like that that were just left. We built the chimney back in this room. So as you can tell, there's 4 windows that make this up, and these are the 12-foot tall ceilings. There's a picture of some of the doors that have this latch that works the window open and closed. Moving back into the hallway, across the hall is bedroom number 1. A few windows in this front bedroom. It mostly turned into a storage area, unfortunately. Big closets in each of the bedrooms. Back across the hall, this would be the master bedroom, and in here was the back side of the chimney. And as you can tell, we sheetrocked it all in. It's run for electric. Most of the plumbing's already done. The floor would need to be replaced at this time, but at the time we put it in, everything was good. That goes out to a side porch on the east side of our, I should say the west side of the house. That door goes into one side of the bathroom. This door goes into the other side of the bathroom. pair of stairs that we pulled out of another home in Louisiana, actually, that goes up to a large attic. Not even an attic, it's actually a second story. We expanded, you can see this joint. This is where the house used to stop. We built from here out, and it matches the house, the rest of the house. Here's bedroom number 3, another large closet. And up there, you can't quite see him, but it's a bat. He's just hanging out up there. I'm not gonna bother him. But this is gonna be, well, this was gonna be a bedroom for my sisters. Years ago, unfortunately. It's not gonna happen. They're grown and gone. This was a neat contraption that's used for putting sheetrock up on the ceiling. And that's made for 8-foot ceilings, obviously. But my dad, my grandfather, put these hinges on there so that you could flip this up and reach a 12-foot ceiling. So that was very helpful. Me as a 12 to 13-year-old was hard to put sheetrock up, these big sheets. And so me and my father, we did a lot of this work. He and I and my brothers and my grandfather, who all were instrumental in getting me into woodworking and building and period stuff, and just an appreciation of history. This here is some of that pine heart. You can see the quarter saw marks in it where it was done with the big saw. I've got a lot of that stuff that I still use at home. And you can see in this particular room the stud change. Over here you have true 2x4s that are heart pine, rough cut. And then over here, the newer construction is the regular old pine 2x4s that you get at the home center. This room is the utility room. It's also got a couple bats just hanging out in there. But this got a hookup for washer and dryer. It's obviously a pretty big room. It's probably 12 foot long by about 5.5, 6 feet wide. Moving a little further, this was going to be our kitchen, and it turned into storage as the years went by, unfortunately. But big room, 3 big light hookups, beautiful windows, and a window meant to go above the counter space. There's some of the window weights there that actually, here's one that's actually rigged up. Let me try to get the light right. So you can see here this weight, and the way that that works, see if I can make it work, is as you pull down, the window pulls up like that, and it will hold. And then when you push the window back down, it's just a pulley system. When you pull the window back down, weight goes up and the weight at the bottom goes down. And that's how those windows worked. And so all those windows were rigged up that way. When we tore these out of the old homes that they were in, we just put them back the same way. Big area here. So then another room, this was the kitchen, and this across here was going to be like a den, living room area. Just another really big room, French doors going onto the back porch. And then we had some leak damage over there. This is a room where we kept a lot of the furniture and things that my mother and father picked up. There's a big door, a couple or a few of them there with the windows in the top. There's an old armoire that they picked up in an auction, some really good condition. Not box joints, hand-cut dovetail joinery for the drawers, and for the back cabinets, it's all styled. Looks like it was all done by hand. Just a lot of old pieces, molding, beadboard, lots of things that we just kept that came from older homes that were of this time period. That old chandelier in there is a really old piece. A lot of brass work in that old chandelier. It's got about a 3-foot diameter across it there. It's a really pretty neat piece. This is a really neat piece also. This the lighting's not going to help you here, but this door, this entire frame here, has the door on it and the 2 louvered side, not louvered, raised panel sides on it. And this was hand cut. All the joinery on it was done by hand. There we go, get a better view of it. Windows at the top and on the sides, and then the raised panels. And this is the back porch. Again, you've got the original rough sawing. And when we moved this house here from about an hour and a half away, the neat thing was they had to cut the house in half with a chainsaw, move one half at a time. And this is some of the original back porch that was on the house. I haven't been out here in a while, but looky here. Y'all know what that is. And again, over there. And there is some more right there. All good snake skin. So he's up there somewhere eating on them some rats. I don't particularly, oh, look at this one hanging out on the wall. Yeah, I don't particularly care to find him. Hopefully he's a good guy. But that's pretty creepy. Yeah, I don't like that. And this is the porch. Jumped off of here many a times. And the back, there's some really large, pretty live oaks that are out there. You can't tell anything, but this was all really kept well, and my dad and them kept it trimmed back, and it was all good. Here's just some good working lumber that I'm not going to take, but this is pine heart studs, real 2x4s. Got the big circular saw marks in them, as you can see down the edge. It's really neat stuff. Really a shame. It's really sad. This is just probably going to sit here and rot, unfortunately. Some more stuff there. And underneath the house, there's 20 times this amount of stored lumber and goods that we had taken out of other homes. Anyway, this is the house. I want to take you for a short walk on the outside of the house. That's the front where we just walked in. Just walking around the side. You can't see because of the shadows, but lumber piled high underneath the bottom. A lot of it is pine heart, cypress, cedar, just some really good, durable and long-lasting stuff. Shiplap type siding on the outside. Beautiful windows. Let's see if I can get this thing to adjust without getting snake bitten on here. Here's some of the wood that I had brought home at one point. 12 inch by 3/4 inch to 1 inch. None of them are the same size. Pine heart. Just gorgeous stuff. Plain down. Hard as a brick. There's an old bell saw. Planer, molder, shaper thing with a 5-horse Bellador motor on it. I would like it, but I'd run out of space. Lots of usable lumber still. Some of it's been eaten up, but most of it's still good. So this is underneath the house. Had a barn back there where we kept our cattle. This is the view from the back porch. That's where we were a minute ago with the creepy snake skins everywhere. Looking back under the bottom side of the house. Look at those floor joists. Real 2x10s. Real 2x10s. 12s probably. All kind of half-lap joint over these big beams. And those aren't store-bought. Those are reclaimed beams. And for anybody who's not sure if this is a sturdy enough setup, I can promise you this stuff is strong, hard. Here's some more. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Once it's planed up and jointed, all that stuff is real 4/4. Most of all of it, I would say, is pine heart. Hard as a brick. Some of it was even fire treated. Hey, I need some saw blades. I'm looking at here. No, they're not carbide dipped. Back up the other side to the front. Blackberries are one thing that are in abundance out here. Of course, these aren't quite there yet, unfortunately, because I had to take them home. But over here again, it's the other end of that wood pile. As you can see, just a ton of pine heart. This is where it all began for me. My desire and infatuation with building and restoring things, hand planes, hammers, all of it. I tore it all up out here, and now I've got an appreciation for fixing things. There's a lot of 3/4 inch tongue and groove pine and mostly cedar floorboards under here that we ripped out of older homes. And then this is back to the library. Around the other side of the library is the front of the house. I don't know if you can see it or not, but just a real nice molding type work. They were really pushing to get it right back to where it was. So anyway, thanks for coming with me.